On the outer edge of the second millennium, there has been born a generation through whom God is moving in a special way.
Isn't that your youth pastor over there?
He said he'd be here.
I don't think anyone else is here.
It's okay, Mom.
Are you sure you're okay with this?
I'm okay.
I love you. I'll be praying for you.
I love you too, Mom.
Deep calls to deep. The world cannot hear it. Flowing from my
generation, echoes of His Spirit. No higher purpose
can we fulfill
than to be used in prayer to birth His will.
In the spring of 1990, a group of students in a small Texas town came together in a home for a weekend retreat called Disciple Now. Ordinary young people with an extraordinary goal. They came seeking God.
They shared their struggles. They studied His Word. And they prayed.
God, I thank these young people and the incredible weekend they've had.
And on the second night, something incredible happened.
You just knew the Spirit was moving. And when we were having our candlelight vigil and just praying, you just knew that their hearts were breaking. And it was that God was penetrating their heart because their hearts were hard.
What's that one thing that you're thinking about that's keeping you from God? That's
Gathered around a single candle, which symbolized the light of Jesus, they were each given a marble. That marble was to represent whatever might be hindering their relationship with God. It could be anything, a boyfriend or girlfriend, some sport or activity, or perhaps a secret sin.
I know there's a room full of people, but this is you and God right now.
They were then challenged to search their hearts, to let go of anything that had come between them and God, and to indicate their decision by placing a marble at the base of the candle.
His life. You know, God said.
At first there was silence, then sighs and gentle weeping as each one reached toward the light.
I don't know that we could even describe it to each other the way that we felt. But you could just feel that God was there and that, you know, we had done something that was, you know, awesome.
It touched everybody. It was really, I can't put it in words, but it was a powerful, powerful weekend.
I remember some of the football player guys crying that I would have never thought, you know, would be crying about something like that.
So often, God works in us before He works through us. And having worked in those young people, God then moved them to concern for their friends.
We were talking about how we wish God would work through the students in our campus. We wish that it was easier for us to be witnesses at our school, and how that was probably the biggest problem of any Christian in high school, is to profess his faith in high school.
What happened next changed the course of history. In the dark of night, they went to 3 schools and 1 home, where one of them was homeschooled.
We just decided it would be a good idea to go up to the flagpole and in front of our school and pray for our students. And then our intentions were to make an impact.
When we got there, to pray though, I think we all felt the same. This was funny. You know, we really feel really weird going and praying at the school.
I remember thinking, I wonder if anybody's going to see me. I mean, to be honest with you, I was in 9th grade, and I was like, what are people going to ask if I come back to school on Monday and they say, what were you doing out holding hands with a bunch of people in front of the junior high?
We all had the same goal, and that was to pray for their friends, because they were all, amazingly enough, even though it was kind of a silly kind of thing and they were all laughing and giggling, they did have friends that they cared about at school, and they all did.
They
that were hurting, but we all just felt kind of funny.
Every movement of God begins with God. Through prayer, our hearts begin to beat with God's heart. His passion becomes our passion, and we become effective instruments to speak and do God's will in this world.
You could just feel the Spirit fall on us, and it just happened. I really can't describe what happened. You know, you could just feel that God was there and that that's what we were supposed to be doing, that we were supposed to be praying for our schools.
Protect them, Lord, and just give them a sensitivity, God, to their friends.
They prayed for God to visit the campuses, and God did visit the campuses the next year in a powerful way. If there was ever an answer that was like that prayer time was.
Any ideas?
She doesn't have the you want it win. You're talking about over there.
The very next week, a group of youth workers in Dallas met to pray and discuss how to challenge their young people to make a difference for Christ. Someone shared about the group who prayed on their campuses at night.
Why not challenge Christian students everywhere to gather on their campuses to pray?
Where should they meet?
They all agreed. Every school has a flagpole.
In my skeptical mind, you know, I'm sitting there trying to picture this, you know, students all over the state praying around their flagpole. And I didn't know quite what to think about it, to tell you the truth. But I do remember very vividly Neil McClendon saying, yeah, we can call it See at the Pole.
At first, I didn't like the idea. I said, well, let's think of some more ideas. I didn't think that would catch on, you know. I'd just see at the pole, you know.
I didn't know what to think about that at first either, but after we sat there and chewed on it for a little while, it just kind of started having a ring to it.
On June 22nd, 1990, 20,000 students were challenged to meet at their school flagpoles to pray.
So on the count of 3, I want you to scream out, I'll see you at the pole. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
3 months after the challenge at Reunion Arena, approximately 48,000 students in at least 4 states gathered around their school flagpoles to pray.
I set up a little answering machine. I told people to call in their reports. I put that answering machine at my house. I just sit there in my office chair at my home and just wept.
In Alco, Texas, at our flagpole, and we had 42 students.
Buffalo High School had 63 students.
High School, we had 26.
In Texas, and there were 48 people.
And we had a total of 47 youth.
The youth pastor called in and said, I want to tell you about this young lady who stood at her flagpole by herself, and how he was in his car across the street. And when she finished her prayer, noticed that she turned and started walking towards him, and he could see tears that were streaming down her cheeks. And he thought, I'm going to have to encourage her. She's probably really disappointed because she was by herself. Little did he realize that as soon as she got to him, she was going to be an encouragement to him, because here's what she began to say. She said, I stood alone today on my campus, but I knew I could do that because thousands of others were standing with me across the state.
Each year, after that first See You at the Pole, the movement grew. As we came together, we saw who we were, the body of Christ on campus. During those same years, thousands of student-led Bible studies and prayer groups emerged. See You at the Pole is now an international movement involving millions of young people. It all began with a handful of students who listened to God.